Kind of hazy today. Last few days I've been seeing a lot of smoke from hay fields burning. Right over here, there's some coming up. No forest fires that I know of yet. I was looking on the computer yesterday and I sent a thing to Idaho Hillbilly there that Idaho is supposed to have record heat this year. Oh boy. But anyway, good morning. Today, for now, I need to replace this bearing. This is a tough one to do. I have to take this whole thing off. This kind of pivots out from the other side, and you have to support this in some way so it doesn't fall on you. It's heavy, it's awkward, usually rusted in. Not a lot of fun. I had a guy get a hold of me a couple days ago about a beaver control job they need to go do. So that'll be a little more fun. Go trap a couple of beaver. I'd like to relocate them if I can. I talked to another guy that wants a few on his property. So if I can live trap these somehow, I'd much rather do that. The summer pelts, they're not, they're not worth anything. The tails I could use, the beaver castor I could use, but the fur themselves really isn't that good. Although I'm not so sure it matters. When the fur buyer came this year, I had a stack of 4 of them, and he never separated them. He never looked at them. He just put them on a scale and weighed them and told me the price. So, I mean, for all he knew, they could have had a bunch of big holes in them or something, and poor quality fur, and I don't know that it would have made any difference. So, that's interesting. I've never seen them do it that way before. This part here is called a pillow block. Why, I have no idea. Wouldn't make a very good pillow. But see how this has got this little cutout on both sides? Got too much dirt in there to see it, but this inside piece has to pivot and then lift out. So getting it to do that's kind of fun sometimes. Sometimes it goes, sometimes it fights you all the way. So, where is that other bearing? Aha! No, those are nuts and bolts. It's in a blue box. Where did it go? Well, I thought I had it found. Over here. There it is. Yeah, it used to sit on that blue shelf there in the shed, but now it's in a coffee can out in the yard. So that's what it's supposed to look like, not that. That's just the outside piece. Then you got this lock collar, and if you notice it's thicker on one side than it is the other. That's how you tighten it on the shaft. You do that and it kind of pinches it together. And last time I couldn't get that off. This piece right here. I ended up having to cut it off, and This is part of the old bearing, and so is this. That all has to come off yet. Well, I'll tell you what, it's stuck. The centerpiece here, this thing needs to come off. And it's hardened, so my pipe wrench doesn't want to grab it very well at all. So, I guess I'll cut it off. There we go, finally. But I whacked it a couple of times with the hammer. I gotta clean that up a little bit, or that other bearing probably won't go on. The other thing that's really a poor design is the grease fitting is right here. It comes out in that little hole right there. So in this, that little itty bitty hole there and there has to be lined up with that hole, otherwise you can't pump grease into this. Really poor design, and it's really hard to get that in the right spot, and I'm not so sure that with use it doesn't move. So I've had troubles with that before. I get it all together and I go to pump some grease into it and it won't take any grease. That's one of the reasons these wear out so fast. So last time what I did is I took my grinder and I ground a slot from that hole down and around so that the grease can hit, if it's off a little, the grease can hit that slot and then go into that hole. But I don't know why they designed it like that. It's a really poor design. I bought a grease needle that you can poke in between the seal here on some of these bearings and pump grease into them. But this one, the seal's metal, so you can't do that. On a plastic one you can. Seems like the wrong thing to do to a $50 bearing. It's brand new out of the box. But if it doesn't take grease, it's not going to last very long. So then you have to get this thing in here so that that hole, when you bend it over, will line up with the grease fitting, which it should be pretty close. bolts are rusted into place, but I think it'll go on now anyway. I want to try to make sure that grease fitting goes to the back and that little concentric thing goes to the outside. So it's a little confusing sometimes. I put it on backwards one time and had to start over. I thought I had another bearing in this box, but it's parts and pieces like this lock ring collar and stuff like that from before. But look at this. I just found this. This is one of the old ones. It has a groove run all the way around to those little bitty holes. I wonder why they don't put that in there anymore. You kind of have to have it. Now I don't feel so bad about grinding holes in it, or slots in it anyway. But anyhow, this one is all back together and should work. I need to raise this back up and put the pin back in it though, and I can't do that. I'll have to go get the tractor or something to lift that up. But anyway, sorry this ain't the most interesting stuff lately, but it's kind of the way it is. Summertime, I'm real busy on the fairgrounds and not a lot of fun. But like I said, I got some beaver trapping coming up here as soon as I can get over there and do it. So hopefully I'll have something a little more fun than this. But until then, thank you for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye.